I wanted to share a little bit about my personal experience with IEMT as a client, as my experiencing of IEMT for my own issues. Because I think, well, number one, I think it's really important that mental health is something that we talk about. It's still so kind of taboo. We don't talk about it. We don't. It's kind of only if there's a problem do you use it. And so I just want to be a little vulnerable and honest and share that I think I've been pretty open about the fact that I go to hypnotherapy. I've been doing that for 3 years now, maybe 4 years now. Sometimes I take long breaks for a long period of time because I'm feeling good or there's not much going on. Sometimes I'm going every week. It just depends on what's going on in my life. And so I just want to share a little bit about IEMT. So I have seen so many wonderful transformations for clients using this modality. From the moment I got trained in it, I felt really called to have some sessions for myself, but I was just kind of maybe not ready. I don't know. I wasn't sure who I wanted to work with. I wasn't actually sure what I needed to work on. I just knew that there was probably a lot to explore. And I earlier this year, I suppose, I just got to the point where I was really aware that it was time to kind of address some of the things that I knew I hadn't addressed yet. And I picked my own practitioner. I did not know her. That is the biggest thing I want to just say in case everyone thinks we're just all hyping each other up. I did not know Nicola. I had never seen a post by her. I had never been in a training with her. I purely discovered her through a link to her blog. And I started reading the blog, and at first I was just mostly interested in the blog from a professional standpoint because I thought her blog posts were really excellent and really well written. And I was visiting my sister even, and I said, "This is amazing. Can we be inspired by this person?" And I ended up not long after that coming to the realization that I had been having a lot of kind of disproportionate emotions. I was very easily frustrated. I was very easily getting mad about things that really had nothing to do with me. I was feeling kind of more easily triggered by other people in my personal life, things like this. And I also kind of just felt, I didn't feel depressed, but I think I maybe was depressed. I just didn't have, I was doing all the things that I normally do, but I just felt kind of dull, kind of like I was black and white instead of color, just not enthusiastic in my life. And so I reached out to Nicola and I requested a free consultation because I saw that even though she lives in Scotland, she offers teletherapy. So we kind of coordinated on a time that was mutually agreeable considering the time difference, and I had a free consultation with her. And right off in the free consultation, I just shared, now IEMT's content free. Theoretically, you don't need to share anything. But I knew, since I am a practitioner myself, I knew that she would kind of ask me to share somewhat of details in terms of negative memories, other people in my life that maybe I want to work on, identities about myself. So I knew there was going to be some explanation needed because I have a very complicated past personal life, which is not usually something that I share with people. But I did tell her. Now, what I shared with her is something that I try to avoid sharing, honestly. and is something that usually when I do share it is very confusing for people, and I often have to repeat myself multiple times to clarify it. um, so I told her this kind of vulnerable thing because I know it's the biggest thing that I needed to clear and resolve, and so I just explained it. Um, why working with my kind of two divorces, I'm twice married, twice divorced, so I was married twice and already divorced twice by the time I was like 42. Um, and so I shared with her, and she didn't even blink. She didn't miss a step. She was not confused. She came right back and she reframed it. She just said, "Oh, that's just like such and such." And she made this reference that, number one, I had never heard before. I never had anyone react that way. I never had anyone, and I thought, okay, this is the practitioner for me, because right away she made me feel like this thing that's really kind of embarrassing and awkward to talk about is not a big deal, and I'm not the only one. I'm not alone, actually, in this experience. And so the next thing I had to do after I agreed that I would love to work with her is I had to go through kind of the intake form, which is basically just sharing what you want to improve in your life, and do you have negative memories, do you have problematic emotions. Now the emotions were easy for me because I knew the emotions that I needed to work on because I was feeling them all the time, and that's what made me want the session. Negative memories was trickier because I tend to forget everything that has ever happened, and so I really had to think about it. It was hard. I think I took about 2 days to think about. What I ended up doing was just picking negative memories that I thought were related to my outcome issue. That I like, here's what I want, here are possible negative memories that might be affecting me. Now, this is easier for some people than others because if you're coming for something very specific, it's sometimes easier to say, here are the specific memories that I have. Like if you have a fear of flying and you were on a flight that was bumpy, that is very easy to connect the dots. If you're kind of working on generalized anxiety, or you're like not really sure what the problem is, then sometimes you have to dig deep. So I just made a list. I knew one. I said, this must impact my my life. So I knew a couple biggies. I really had to dig. And I had a very long list of other people to work on, because one thing we can work on is kind of problematic people in your life. Parents are a popular choice. Exes are a popular choice. All sorts of people can be in there. And so I had a long list, and I really don't remember what else I put on the consultation form now, but when I had my very first session, she said, I can see how it all comes together. It makes perfect sense. It's all related, and we just start at the beginning, just go through it. So I actually saw her for the first time after kind of a very emotional day, or an emotional weekend. There were a lot of changes in my life at this time. You know, my kids are growing up. It's changing, how I think about myself, how I think about them. There's just a lot. There's a lot to unpack. There was a action-packed weekend full of all sorts of things, and so I got through all that. I love something that my practitioner says, which is short-term pain for long-term gain, because IEMT is so brief, it works so quickly, so you're working on often very emotional, traumatic, difficult memories, difficult emotions, but you're not holding on to that forever. You're not even holding on to it probably longer than 30 to 90 seconds. So it's very gentle, it's very private, which is something I really, really enjoy, because some things are hard to talk about. It's hard to be vulnerable. It's hard to sit with those feelings. It's hard to sit with those memories. And to just have a private space to explore that and to feel better fast is amazing. So I have really noticed for myself a way decrease in anxiety, which had already been improved by some other IEMT I had done, but really noticeable change in my experience, in my focus at work, in my dedication to myself, my goals, my to-do lists, personal and professional. I really noticed, it wasn't easy. After some of these sessions, I would be really tired or really emotional. But it evens out. It's just everything's reprocessing. It makes sense. And I found the more sessions we did, the less that got. So the first two sessions I was wiped out afterwards. And the next three sessions, I felt good afterwards. I felt good. I felt good the next day. I didn't really have any, ill side effects after the first couple. So it's been a very interesting journey thus far. I really like it. A big gift has been the compassion I feel for my past self. So things that previously, when I thought about them from the past, I had a lot of regrets. And it's not like I didn't make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. We're all just living life for the first time. But instead of looking back and feeling really bad and feeling sad about it and kind of just dumping on myself because of it, I was able to look back and think, okay, at the time you were living in survival mode, or at the time you thought this was best, or at the time you wanted to be loved and so you behaved in that way. And so I have a lot more compassion for my past self, which is really a healing journey to go on. So I hope this kind of vulnerable, kind of open video helps you to understand a little bit more about what the process is like. Sometimes I do testimonial videos and it kind of shares results, but it doesn't always share the experience. So I just wanted to shed some light on what it's been like for me. It's just me. That's just my unique individual journey. Everybody's different. But that's what I've experienced so far. If you have any questions about IEMT or hypnosis or any kind of subconscious modalities or about my personal experience, please let me know. I'd be happy to do my best to answer them. Thanks, guys.